What's up? We're back. We got Josh England on the pod.
What's going on?
What's going on? I've seen you on a couple other podcasts. How many podcasts have you been doing a little bit?
Here and there. I like to hop on, especially like when it's people I know, right?
Uh-huh.
I think it's so cool, people growing things on the side. So anytime I can put my 2 cents in or whatever, like that's just cool to me. So,
dude, and I think like conversations, because we've never really hung out or anything. We played like football together, but I think like good conversations is the biggest thing, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd like like I said, when you hit me up, I was super excited, dude. I'd seen a lot of your content. I'm like, dude, what you're doing is super cool.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to you. Like I said, I kind of told you earlier, but dude, what you've built in a short amount of time just shows what the effort you put in and that people resonate with what you're saying. And
dude,
and you're just like a guy that you can relate to, like an everyday dude, which is super cool. Everyday dad.
Hell yeah. Everyday dad, new dad. Thank you. I appreciate it. And so on this podcast, we obviously talk about dads and stuff and like being a dad and like how important it is doing other things. And like, I know you're into sports and like you're into so many different things, but then like you got to focus on your kids as well. And like, I know that you do that. So I think that's awesome. So that's why I hit you up and I was like, I think Josh will be perfect to have on.
Oh, I appreciate that, dude. Family first always, but it's you have to still have yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where those other things come in. But
yeah,
you're like, as a dad, I'm sure you feel this. You're the provider for that family, so it's like whatever, whether it's financially, emotionally, whatever, and that's mom's job too. But
yeah,
as a dad, you just have to be there, and like you feel that naturally. Like these are my kids. Like this is my life duty now, per se. You
look at them and it's like, my main goal is to provide for you, so
absolutely.
And like that's what I've kind of been going through lately is like changing jobs a little bit so I could provide better. And that's the ultimate goal, is to provide for our family, right? And like one of my main goals is so like my wife doesn't have to work, so she could like raise the kid how we want to raise it, not like have daycare stuff. And having that support system is huge. Like we have her family that helps watch, and like when we both go on like little dates or something. So
dude, that's huge too. I'm actually kind of in that same boat, is where it's like family's huge for helping, but like I feel like it's crazy nowadays that we live in an era where a lot of parents aren't able to raise their own kids. And I just like, I feel some type of way about that, because it's like I want my kid to be raised by me and my wife. And if however we can do to make that work, whether that's me working or her, but if we can have one of us there raising the kid, then that's just how I want it to be. And we've been fortunate enough. My wife actually is going to be able to stay home for the next couple of years and figure it out. But, and that's, yeah, I mean, I think that's so huge that you raise your own kids in an era where and that's the price of things, which is unfortunate, but a lot of people don't get that. So
like, it's crazy. The price of houses, groceries, everything. It's like, it's so hard to, like you said, like raise your own kids in a way. And it's like, we're dependent on daycares and stuff. And I don't know, like, I think we got to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, kind of a random thought. I like the American dream of being able to, I just feel like we're just like most people are priced out of that, and it's unfortunate. Like I said, and I feel like kids that are able to have their parents' influence and be there, I feel like it's a lot easier to keep them on the right path, the right mindset, rather than feeling isolated from you in a way,
Yeah, like you're there spending more time with them, talking to them more, like even just asking about their day. Like I'm not to that point yet. He's only almost 6 months old, but like I want that to be an important part of the life. And I don't know, how old's your first one now?
Yeah, so my son turned 2 last fall.
2? That is awesome.
And so I asked him about his day. Like, so he's barely really started talking within the last, say, 5 months or so. But yeah, dude, when I come home from work, it's like, what'd you do today? And he'll start talking like his new things, puzzles, and
that is awesome.
And playing, and he'll talk about his dinos. Something about dinos. Every kid loves dinos. Every kid loves dinos.
I know. I've saw something that's like, if your kid likes dinos, he's gonna be smarter. It's like,
I hope so. But yeah, dude, that is the coolest. Like, I come home from work and my son will be waiting at the door. He hears my truck pull in, and he's waiting by the door, and that's the coolest feeling ever. You're like, oh, and as soon as I walk in, is like, I always obviously go to my fiance. I think that's important. And then it's like, and I always have my son in my arms. It's like, I want you guys to know every time I come home from work, I go to work for you guys and I come home to be with you guys. So
that is so cool. I feel like that's huge. Like that's something I want to happen to me in my life, obviously. Like I'm not there yet, like here in a couple of years when he's old enough to wait by the door or something. But
yeah,
man, that's so freaking cool.
And playing sports with your kid, like if and whatever it is, it doesn't have to be sports. For me, that's kind of how me and my kid bond. But it's the coolest experience ever too. You watch him kind of grow and like I have a mini basketball hoop and it was like I kind of started backing him up and I'd be amazed. And then like a couple weeks later, a month or whatever, it's like he has his baseball mitt on, he's tracking the ball. It's like, and that's super cool, just being into sports and watching your kid develop in that way. And like that's bonding, you know? Super cool.
That's cool as hell. And like I've said on here a couple times, like I've coached little kids and like tackle football or like I do speed and agility camps. And like when I see things starting to click, like we'll work on it for weeks and weeks and then it'll start to click and start to work. Like it's one of the greatest feelings as a coach. So like for your own kid and being a dad, like I bet that's 10 times more rewarding, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I've coached with Derek. So me and Derek coach his son in flag football. And I don't even have a kid in the race per se, but dude, I love those kids. Like watching them develop, and me and Derek will talk about it. Like we started coaching these kids when they're grass pickers. They're 5, right? It's herding cats. And you got like this grass picker at 5, and now it's like, dude, that's probably my QB1. Like, dude's throwing dots. Like he understands football. It's like, dude, I watch you go from a grass picker to where you're at. It's like you just develop that passion. And and I actually talked to Derek the other day about this. Is like you go through the seasons of life. Is like as a player, you go from like player to coach or whatever it is for you. But I think like coaching is more rewarding than I ever had as a player.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so fun to coach, and it's so rewarding when you get a kid right, or you watch something click for a kid, and you all of a sudden the light bulb, and it's like, dude, that's rewarding, and you just fall in love with the kids because it's like, dude, I don't. Like I said, it's not even for my own kids. I just have a passion for coaching and watching these kids develop and having an understanding for football or whatever sport it is, and then being able to pass that on is I guess, a blessing in a way, you know?
Dude, it really is, because it's like you grow up playing and stuff and you have dreams of like making it to NFL or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then like you realize you can't, and it's like, what's the next best thing I could do with everything I've learned? And I feel like passing it on to the next generation is like one of the best things you could do, you know? And like sometimes I feel like the best players aren't the best coaches, and you know, sometimes the players that weren't the best are the best coaches because they understand a little bit more. Like they don't have that raw talent. And I don't know. Dude, I don't know what, like I wasn't the best player, so I feel like putting everything towards it, you know?
This guy won state every single year as a kid, and his dad was probably the best coach in Utah. So
yeah,
shout out to Willie for that one. But
dude,
you were a damn good player, so I can't take that. I think you were up there, but
thank you, I appreciate that. And like, but like that also, like for my child, is like my dad focusing on coaching and like putting all his time into coaching me. It kind of like made that bond and made that connection between me and my dad and me and that sport kind of huge, you know?
Yeah, that dude, that's awesome. Random thing. So my father-in-law is, well, he's in his mid 40s, and one of his first coaches was your dad.
Yeah.
So that's how long your dad's been in the game and been a known coach for being successful in what he does and knowing football. So
yeah, shout out to Matt.
Cool.
He's cool. He was one of my high school coaches too, and that dude's super smart and knows what the hell he's talking about. But
yeah, Matt's. We're on Matt. I mean, Matt's my biggest role model in life, and I shout him out a million times for the ways he's blessed me in life. For me and my family, I couldn't have asked for better in-laws. And a lot of people, you know, my in-laws. I'm like, dude, I love my in-laws. Let's go hang out with my in-laws on a Saturday night.
Let's go hang out with them. You know, like, especially if you could have like a beer with your in-laws, or like,
oh yeah, just
like actually hang out and talk to them more on like more of a personal level instead of like the in-law level, I think is huge.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I remember they're kind of talking upstairs, but you get told all this stuff as a kid. But I remember being in high school, and you have all these teachers be like, whatever, tell you whatever, or coaches or whatever it was, these mentors. Like your network is your net worth, right? Mm-hmm. And as a kid, I didn't really think much of it, okay, whatever. And you get older and like your network is your net worth, and is like you get to know people and you make a good impression with people, like that carries you in life in a lot of ways. So
dude, and I've always thought like it's better to have more friends than enemies, so like anytime I meet somebody, anytime like I go out, I'm trying to be positive and like make those connections, and I feel like that's huge as a dad, because then you have other parents that know you and they'll treat your kid more positively if you treat them more positively, I guess.
Dude, absolutely. I'm with coaching too. You make an impression with parents is like what I've noticed with Derek and building up his team is you come into your first season with all these random kids and then you kind of make an impression with certain parents or whatever. They like your coaching style and I'll be honest, me and Derek have more of a mindset and I've heard you talk about it on the pod too, but it's like of course we want to have fun, and I think you can have fun and compete at a high level. I don't think you have to be this participation level award for everything, just to have fun. I think you can compete and have fun at a high level, and I think as you make good impressions on parents by being a coach and kind of being hard on the kids, teaching them discipline, because a lot of life lessons come from coaching. Yeah. You get parents that come back and they're like, you know what, you made my kid run 4 times in practice, but I appreciate it because you're teaching them that, you're over here dicking off in practice. Okay, you're going to run. Like, we're here to learn football and play competitive and have fun doing it. But, like, I'm not here to babysit, right? And I think you make that impression with parents, and that's still even into your network. And that's in everyday life, like you said, even just going out. Like, network is so huge.
It's huge because, like, I don't know, when I coached, I'd always try and like ask the kids how their day was, ask about school, like making sure they're getting good grades, and like they had to have good grades to play. I think is huge, kind of teaching that life lesson, like, okay, focus on your work. And then this isn't like, God, what was it? This isn't a right to play. This is like something you've earned. Like you earn to play throughout like your work throughout the day. And like, I thought that was kind of huge to teach them. And then also, I had this dad come up to me and he's like, whatever you got to do to my kid, like you're his dad when he's here, like if you need to bitch him out, like bitch his ass out and get him playing right.
Yes, sir.
I was like, okay, like I won't be bitching your kid out, but like I love that kind of parent that's like focused on the best possible outcome of the sport.
Dude, and I'm sure you can relate, dude. Some of the coaches that were the hardest on me growing up and really harped on me for like, dude, I had moments throughout life where I was a better player on the team, and having those coaches that made you feel like, no, you can do better, and really push you. And even when you think your top dog is like, no, you need to do this better. Dude, and that's the coaches that make you better and really, leave that impact with you forever.
Yeah, and that's a life lesson. Like, I know you could do better, and you take that into your schoolwork, you take that into your job and your relationships, and it's like, there's always a possibility you could be doing better. And like I saw a Navy SEAL quote. It's like when you feel like quitting, you're really only at your body's like 40% capability. Like you still have so much more to give and so much more you could do.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I think people short their like the capabilities in a lot of ways. I think in some ways people get and now day and age, like people are so content trying to just be the average, and it's like, we're capable of so much more, and it's all your mindset is what you're gonna put out there. Yeah. So I agree with that 100%. I think when you think you're done, your body's just barely getting started on that, and you have so much more room to grow, and that goes into the gym and whatever else you're doing in life. Is like when you think that you've hit your limit, keep pushing, because that's growth, and that's getting outside of your comfort zone, and that again, that's basically how you grow, right?
That's the growth part of everything. And like, that's what I'd try and teach my football players. Like, okay, I know you're nervous to make this tackle because that was their first year in tackle, but it's like, once you commit to something and like commit to the form, like that's the right way to do it. I don't know. Like it's going to work. Like, just trust me. Like I've had parents tell me as a kid growing up, and like older coaches, like, trust me to do this. And sometimes you got to learn on your own and make the mistake, but I don't know. If we could listen and take the shortcuts, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, and kind of changing pace here. So, I mean, you're a new dad and you're a new dad podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the first year being a new dad, like everything's an experience, right? It's your
Yeah.
first time everything, first time kid getting sick, first time for you and your wife to go through this and blend another person into your family. And what like how's that experience been for you?
Dude, for me, it's been kind of like you always have your rocky moments, you know? Like when it was before just me and my wife, it was like you could come home, do your own thing, whatever. Like your priorities are different, right? But then when you come home and you have a baby, you want to spend time with your baby, your kid, want to like you actually spend more time with your wife. But we've kind of talked about it upstairs. Like you still got to find yourself in that mix, and like you kind of have to adapt a little bit. So like, how has it been with your family?
Again, we kind of had this conversation, but I'll just touch on it again. I like the first year having a kid. Me and Briley actually got pregnant pretty early into our relationship, and our relationship was like a breeze, right? We really got along. We're pretty much the same person at the time, and then she got pregnant. And the first year, while she's pregnant, it's also kind of a little of adapting, but you're still it's just each other. And then that first year having a kid, it's like, one, you're sleep deprived.
Oh yeah.
Two, there's always a first of everything, right? And like I said, the biggest one was like first time our kid got sick was like nerve wracking. And then as you're blending in your family, it's like, hey, mom's ready to go back to work. Like, what are we going to do to make this work for each other? And we kind of had a work schedule where she would work when I was off and then I'd work when she was off. And we did it like that for a while. And it's just kind of almost losing each other and then coming back to each other. And then you start to like I've fallen in love even more with her for the woman she's become since becoming a mom. And I was telling you upstairs, like the growth in her is her now wouldn't even recognize herself when we first started dating. And it's kind of the beauty of it is she's just grown as like, she's such a mother and such a good mom to Zion. And like that, and that's just another reason like why I love her so much is like, I want my partner to be a great mom. And cause like, I think every guy or every man needs a mom too. Like I think moms are just as important as dads in the same light. I think dads are super important as well. And, but like, that's for my wife is like, her motherhood and how she's grown is like incredible, and I could never commend her enough for being able to do that. So
that's awesome. And like kind of on that, like I haven't actually like noticed it, but like now that you say that, I notice that like you fall more in love with your wife when like you see her stepping into that motherhood role and like taking care of the baby. It's like, damn, like I just love you more and more every day. Like I don't know, it's just the little things, right? And just like I got a new job and she's taking care of the baby and now she's making me lunches and like packing me a lunch or like all just the little stupid shit. And it's like, I don't know, like it's the little things in the relationship.
Absolutely, dude. I like every once in a while, Bradley will write a little note, you know, and you open that at work and it's like, dude, everything's good in life, you know, like I don't want anything to change, you know, just like having those moments where you just sit there and you're just happy of like where you've grown and became. So, but cause when me and Bradley first got together, I was working at the DC, right? Walmart DC, and it, like mindless work, great. They were taking care of us but I would just be doing overtime and just mindlessly doing the same work, whether it was taking care of freights or running the forklift. And it would just be the same thing every day. And I was just wanting to do everything I could to make it up. And I was wondering, you know, if I ever going to get out of that? Like, is this my life from now on? And this goes back, I guess, to your network. But I remember thinking to myself one day, why don't you look at a guy or some role model in life that has kind of the things you want, ask them what they do. Yeah. And I had been at the DC for 3 years. And I remember the first day I went to my father-in-law and he does pretty well for himself. And I said, you know, what do you do for work? And like, what are the qualifications to kind of get into this? And he kind of told me a little bit, and he was working as a critical facilities manager. Oh, wow. So at the time he was the lead guy for the eBay facility. He now is the CFM for Facebook. Holy shit! He worked himself up. But I remember asking him, it was like, and I knew right then it was like, you know, I want to be like this guy. What do I got to do? And I remember him telling me, you need to go take this class at the TATC and get some knowledge of critical facilities training if you want to become a maintenance and eventually an engineer for us. And I remember kind of taking that class, and I probably could have done better in that class, but I just remember at least pursuing it and then getting the opportunity to become a critical facility engineer for him at eBay before he left, and kind of where that's taken me in life. Is like that growth in your relationship is like, for both sides, you know, and that's allowed us to get to where we are as parents and continue growing. So dude, I know you just said you're starting a new job in your last podcast. What are you doing? You know?
So now I'm doing maintenance over at Cabela's.
Okay.
And so it's like they paid a lot more, and you have to like know your stuff and know a little bit about everything on how to fix things and think through problems and like troubleshoot like whatever, you know, whether it's electrical components, I don't know, like just situations too, how to troubleshoot situations, what's going on, how to manage your time with this is broken down, but this is just barely broke down as well. And it's more important, like how to prioritize. And I don't know, I like it, but like, kind of like how you were saying, like how you find a role model and you kind of like model what you want to do off of what they're doing. And I think that's huge. And kind of on that, like, that's what I want to be as a dad for my son, and be like that role model that he has someone to look up to and pursue better for himself. But I think you could find that in anybody. Like my father-in-law, he was owning his own business. I went to him. I was like, I want to work for you. Like, how do I pursue owning my own business or like starting your own venture in a way? And I think that's huge.
No, that's super cool. This is super random, but do you work with a guy named Kevin?
Yeah, he just barely started. I was going to bring that up.
Yep. So that's my dad. He retired from the school district, but he just started out there, and he says he really likes it. So
that's cool.
That's awesome.
He's like, I didn't know you were a Harmeo. And I was like, on the first day I met him, and the second day he's like, I didn't know you were a Harmeo. I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, yeah, do you know my son Josh England? I was like, holy shit, what the hell? Like, what a small world.
That is so cool, dude. I remember, he just barely started there this last week, but when you said Cabela, I was like, okay. And I thought you had said that in a previous pod, so I was kind of confirming. Dude, going on that note, so with my job experience, like I said, through my network and getting very lucky and fortunate in life, I got a job that a lot of these guys have been like journeyman electricians, or I worked with master electricians, and I came in with, you know, your farm boy maintenance background, maybe, you know, but nothing really. But I've always believed that if you really want it bad enough and you're hungry enough for it, like, okay, throw a job at me. If I don't know what it is, I'm gonna go figure it out. I'll watch YouTube. I'll do whatever. Like, we live in an age where it's like, you know, like the other day at job, I need you to go mega test these battery shrinks. No idea what that is. It's like, okay, well, that's all right. I'm getting paid to do it. I'm going to learn how to do it.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
And I feel like that's just being hungry. It's like, and with your experience, it's like, maybe you don't know everything, how to troubleshoot, but it's like, I know who I am as a man. Like, okay, I'm going to go figure it out then.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. That's one of the biggest things of like, I've never asked, like, when someone tells me where something's at, I'm not going to ask for directions. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, I'll find my own way, you know? Or like with the jobs, there's people that know way more there. And it's like, I'm going to learn everything I can from them. Like your dad, there's one of the leads there, Jake, or this guy I work with, Manuel. It's like, I'm going to take every situation and that I get to work with them, see how they do it and what I could learn from that and maybe even excel at. Like, oh, he didn't think of this. Maybe I should be thinking of this in a different way. And I think that's huge in any job.
Oh, like, absolutely. And now, I've kind of said this a bunch, but again, your network is your net worth. Like being good with those dudes is like, I mean, I'm not going to hype my dad up, but my dad started as a maintenance guy at 18. He's now 51 and he's been doing maintenance his whole life. Anytime I can get that man to come help me, I've been finishing my basement. He can do anything. It's like, I'm going to be on, you know, I mean, he's my dad to me, but for you, it's like, that's a dude that's like, you know, I'm going to treat you good and I'm going to try and learn from you. And then when you are good to people, people are good back to you mostly.
Yeah. And they'll teach you what they know and they'll be more willing to show you what they know. And like, that's something I've noticed in work. Like if you just have a good attitude and like are nice to people, they'll be nice to you and teach you. So like, why go to work with a bad attitude? Like,
Oh.
there's so many people that just go to work with a bad, pissy attitude, and it's like, we're with these people almost as much as our families. Why the fuck are you being a dick? It's, you know,
Dude, 100%. You really are with those people. Like, I've always had that same, like, I've always considered like, I try to be a good culture piece. And I think that goes a long way, is like when people recognize that, like, this guy's going to bring the energy every day, right? I'm going to go in there. Dude, I'm dapping all my coworkers up. Dude, what'd you do this weekend? You got any plans this weekend? I'm always going to be that guy, because it's like, I'm going to bring that energy, and people pick up on that, and it just creates a better work environment for yourself and others.
Yeah, because then it creates more of a personal relationship with your coworkers, and like you're saying, more of a good culture, more of a good ecosystem, you know? And like, I don't know. I think that's a pretty big part of work. And like, I've always thought I play well in, like, so to speak, the sandbox with others. Cause it's like, even if someone's a dick to me, I'll still just be nice to them. And it's like, it's not worth it. And then maybe if I'm nice to them, they'll be like, oh, maybe I should be nicer, you know?
Yeah, figure it out.
Just stupid shit. But I don't know.
No, dude, I think that's so huge. It's kind of on the same note. So I actually got a new job opportunity. I start tomorrow.
Oh shit! Congrats, dude.
So,
where are you starting at?
So I'm gonna be working at Nova Data Center, which is actually kind of a startup deal. And my old partner at eBay, me and him we're kind of we're at the engineer level over there, and we were always talking about, you know, we're gonna take this place over, this eBay place, right? And he got this opportunity to go over there, and within 6 months, his name's Austin Hansen.
Shout out.
Yeah, quick shout out. He'll probably watch this, but he ended up taking over as a director over there, because this dude is hungry, right? He started as a maintenance tech, he's probably got 3 or 4 years in the industry. And he's just hungry to learn everything he can, and he got himself in a director spot, and we ended up reaching out back and forth, and we kind of talked about it. You know, we had already talked about working with each other before, and this is a new build up. Like, this can be built into a massive campus, and create lots of opportunity for other people. And I was like, you know what? I'm super happy with where I'm at work, but for that kind of opportunity and to come work with you, and obviously the money and benefits had to be right, but he took care of me, and now I'm super excited to kind of go build something with him.
Dude, congratulations.
That's all network, so
that's freaking awesome. And like, that's building that relationship through your work, like you said, and like building that personal bond. So he's like, hey, I have the opportunity for you. And like, he'll know your work ethic just based on how you work, and like that you're hungry, and that you're going to put 100% into your work and build the company and build your spot, you know?
And that's exactly what it is. Like, I don't have the resume that a lot of these guys have, really. My resume is from the dudes that have worked with me and know that, dude, if I don't know something, I'm damn well figure it out. I'm a dog, dude. I'm hungry to be an asset, not a liability at work, right? Yeah. I think everybody comes into their job a liability. You don't, unless you know exactly what you're doing, and very few situations. Like, say you're an electrician and you're going to another electrician job, you're an asset, right? And trade school, I think, is a lot bigger than people make it to be. We can touch on that in a minute, but otherwise, you come into your job, you're kind of a liability. And it's like, what are you going to do to become an asset for this company? Like, you got to make yourself so that this company says, I can't lose this guy.
Yep.
If this guy gets an opportunity somewhere else, I'm not losing him. What do I got to do to keep this guy? He is an asset for us. And I'm just big on that, and that's just being a dog.
Dude, that's huge. I had this old guy I used to work with way back when I was just barely out of high school, my first year at Dixie. And he was like, the biggest thing, like, you don't even have to position yourself the highest in the company, because a lot of those guys are, and so like, replaceable in a way if they don't make themselves like necessary. He's like, find a way to make yourself like that the company depends on you and what you know and your knowledge. And so like, I always just try and learn. And honestly, like, if a company doesn't value you like that, you know, it's like, you could just find a company that will, because another company will value you way more for what you know than what another one will. But
dude, believing in yourself, dude. And I think you've touched on that in a podcast before. I've watched all these podcasts.
Hell yeah, thank you.
At work, so I'm a big fan. But losing that,
that's okay.
We're gonna have to edit that part out.
No, it's all good.
No, but believing in yourself, having that confidence is like, dude, maybe this guy doesn't value me, but I know what I'm about. I'm I'm gonna go find someone who knows what I'm about too, and is gonna believe in me the way I believe in me.
Yeah.
And that's not everyone's a dog. Like I said, not everybody wants to be that guy, and some people are happy to float through 8 hours of work, get by the bare minimum. But like, if you're not that dude and you believe in yourself, find a company that believes in you the same way, because that's gonna carry you a lot farther than being somewhere that doesn't, right?
Yeah, and like that's when, like, not to talk too much shit, but like when I put my 2 weeks in at my old job, they like never came back with like a counter offer. Like, you know what, we'll give you this much to stay. Or like they asked like how much I was leaving for, and they never like counter offered. So it's like, okay, maybe you don't value me as much as, I thought. But then also at the same time, they came and they're like, well, what experience do you know in like maintenance or like whatever? And it's like, well, not your business to know, but yeah. I was like, honestly, not a lot. And that's what I told them. But I told them I'm willing to learn and willing to apply myself and excel in everything I do. And they're willing to take the shot on me, and they're willing to teach me and help me grow. So that's the biggest thing,
Dude, you don't find a lot of, like, it's weird. Our generation's weird. You don't find a lot of dudes that are young and hungry, dude. And if you find a dude that's young and hungry, you could teach him any job, because that dude's going to figure it out, right? But I 100% believe opportunities come your way for just being that dude. Because it's like, yeah, he doesn't know, but I 100% know this guy's going to damn well put in the effort. He's going to learn it, right? And you're young. They can train you up how they want you. It's like that opens a lot of doors. And I remember you said your last job was getting all upset at you for telling your coworkers how much you're going to make. And I'm like, and maybe that's an old school mentality, but dude, these are my brothers. Like, I want them to eat just as well. Like, if they're happy in their job, then they're going to stay. If you're taking like that as a business owner, like if you're taking care of your people, then you'll be fine. But I was like, for you to be worried about me telling them what I make just goes to show that you're not doing everything you can for your people. You're not confident in your ability. And it's this kind of goes back to, like, if you have a really good leader and you're really happy and you think no matter what, this dude's going to take care of me, more than likely you're going to stick it out, whether there's a little bit more money on the table or not. Because it's like, I trust this dude's going to figure this out for me. But when your leader doesn't have that confidence in himself, and it kind of shows, don't be telling people what you're going to make and this and that. It's like, dude, these are my brothers. Like, if there's an opportunity that I can better them or take them somewhere else, I'm going to take care of the people that take care of me. That's taking care of my network of people,
Dude, I'm so glad you touched on that, because it was like, when he's like, yeah, you can't be telling people around the job site what you're leaving to make, or talking about like the union and how much other like electrical outfits will pay their people. It's like, why not? If I know this knowledge, I literally worked with a bunch of my friends. It's like, I'm going to tell them, yeah, you could leave and you could get benefits and this and that and paid this much more. And like, they'll actually value you and they won't work you as hard. Like, why wouldn't I help my friends out and tell them what I know, Because I would hope friends would tell me that and give me that opportunity.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, I'm going to take care of my network because I trust that my network's going to take care of me.
Yeah, exactly. And like, that's the biggest thing with this freaking podcast. It's like, I don't know shit, but what I do learn being a new dad and like learning in life, I would like to tell people, and maybe they didn't know, and maybe it'll help them out,
Absolutely, dude. I like that a lot. I think we're very much on the same page there. I think a lot too, like there's this old school mentality in that you have to do 30, 40 years with a company and retire with them just because you started with them and you owe them that. And I just feel like nowadays it's like, that's just not what it is. Like, if I'm being taken care of and I'm blessed and I'm happy, yes, dude, like I'm a type of dude, I'm going to put my best work out for whoever I'm working for. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Example of that is like, I just barely finished my last week of this job. They had me coming in at 3 to help vendors do panel investigations, multiple days, 3 a.m. I'm doing long days. I'm wrapping up all of our annuals early so that my partner that I'm leaving gets 2 months straight where he can just train the next guy. He doesn't have to worry about annuals. Like, I'm going to put in my best work for wherever I'm at, but also at the same time, I'm going to go do what's best for me and my family. And it's like, there's no really such thing as pensions very much anymore unless you have a government job. There's no tie to these jobs. Your 401k is going to always transfer if that's what you're into.
Follows you, and why not get paid more?
Yeah, and it's like, why not better yourself for you and your family, especially being so young? It's like you don't necessarily owe these companies to stay with them just because you're there and comfortable, right? Like if you can expand yourself and grow, why would you not chase that? And you know, unless you're get too comfortable and that's what fits you. But I was like, when you're young, just be hungry, dude. Because you can, like, being young and hungry just takes you places, man.
Dude, it does. And, like, it keeps your mind wanting more almost. And, like, I know it's not a good thing to always, not be happy with where you're at and want more.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's, like, big to, like, be happy with where you're at, what you've done for yourself, but still want to pursue better, you know? And, like you're saying, like, I'll stay at a company if they freaking take care of me. They give me benefits. They take care of my family. Like, I would love to find a company like that, you know? But at the same time, if someone's going to offer me more, I'd even go to my current company, say, I'm getting this offer. Any way you can match that or even come
close.
Yeah, come close. You don't need to match it completely. I'll stay there. But I don't know. The new day and age is crazy, like you're saying.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of opportunity for young, hungry guys because there's not that many dudes that are motivated. Unfortunately, dudes or females. There's not a lot of people that are motivated to be more than average. So it's like when you are that, there's just opportunity comes your way. Yep. And what I'm super excited about this new opportunity is I know the team I'm gonna go work for, and I know the director, and me and him did really good work together. Like I think we held down our end of the building when we were partners. And the exciting part is like I know that we can build this into something like this is a not the first time when eBay treated me really well too, and they that was a great job, and even Verizon. But this like I'm going into a team and an opportunity for so much growth. It's like, dude, this could be it. Like this is a team I want to work with. I'm getting paid very well for what I'm gonna do, and with only more opportunity to grow, is like I'm stoked for the opportunity to build something out. And this could actually be, I think this could be, you know, my end place is as far as, you know, we build this out successfully and be able to give other people that I think deserve the opportunity into this kind of field like I did. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people that get in, like I said, they've had 5-10 years as an electrician journeyman, and I value that just as much as anyone else. But if somebody's hungry and young and they're not, it doesn't have to be young, sorry, but they're hungry, and I think they'll be a good asset to the team, and they may not get looked at or overlooked, it's like, let's give this guy a look, because I think he's be hungry enough to figure out and do what we need him to do, and just be able to create those opportunities for other people too. Yeah,
because maybe he's not the most vocal on what he knows and stuff, but he's sitting there soaking up everything and all that knowledge, and he actually does know. You just got to give him a shot, you know?
Yep, absolutely, dude.
And like, I think that's big, you know, especially in today's day and age. And like, even with this podcast, it's like, I'm going to like apply what I know, and I'm going to get better every day and be hungry. And like we were talking about, like posting clips out of the same content, and like you could do it in your work life and at your career and stuff, but then you could also do it at a personal level. And like being in like the work environment you're talking about, where people are hungry and motivated and pushing themselves, is huge for you. And I think like you'll thrive, you know, if you're around, like, let's see, what's it? You're like the fifth person in your group, or like if you're kept around 5 people, you'll be the fifth. What's that quote?
Yeah. It's I love that quote. It's you know, if your 4 friends are millionaires, you're gonna be the next. You're gonna be the fifth. Yep. You're gonna become like the people you surround yourself with. And I that's what I love, dude, is being around like-minded people. And the cool part when they were building this out is this is so brand new. There was 2 lead guys out here. Wow. They call them mission critical leads, and it was a guy that I've worked with before, and another guy that worked in the same company with me at eBay, and then of course they're expanding now, and this is still a really new project, but they're bringing in another guy that I worked really close with at eBay, who is a dog. He's hungry, and this whole team is just all like-minded dudes that are like, dude, let's go build this. Like, this would be badass. And if we do it the right way, not only are we taking care of ourselves, we're going to be able to take care of our network and other people that deserve this kind of opportunity.
And that's cool because, like, they see that value in you on an outside. Like, they don't owe you anything, but they see your work ethic and your value, so they're able to offer you better than your current situation to have you come over. And like, I think that's the coolest, like biggest compliment like to you, is that a company's like reaching out to you to grab you for their team to make their team better, you know?
I do appreciate that. And like I said, that's been super cool. But going back to what you said, I mean, being hungry with your pod, we talked about this, but dude, you told me you're doing this research and you're watching other people who are masters of the craft. And it's like, I told you the clips, right? When I'm going through YouTube and I'm watching your videos, different clips will pop up. And I like even though I watch the whole video, I like to click on the clips. And we live in such a day and age, like a TikTok age. I say, dude, everyone kind of has TikTok brain, right? Everyone can watch something for 15 seconds. They want something new. But by posting those clips, you post something and it's like, dude, that resonates with me. I'm going to watch this video. I want to see what else this guy has to say. And that's putting in that extra work on your end. That's kind of made this whole thing like really start to take off. And honestly, anyone who's watching this, like, subscribe to this man. This is going to be something big, and you guys can be in this early. And this dude's going to put in the effort, and he's hungry to do it. And you can see it through the effort. Look at his first video to his last video, and your editing, everything's gotten better. It's like, dude, it's only going to go up from here. And
thank you so much. That makes my day. Like, you don't even know.
Shout out.
So I appreciate it, bro. Like, thank you.
But dude, I've been so excited. Like I told you, just seeing people that I know on a personal level, and I know we weren't ever like close friends, but I've known you since we were 8 years old playing football. It was like, dude, that's QB1 of the state champs, you know. But and then obviously all the way through high school and on, it's like, it's so cool. Like, I actually have a love for Twilla County in a way that a lot of people don't, because this is where I was adopted out here, but this is where I was raised up. And I feel like Twilla sometimes has a hater mentality because people don't like to see people doing better than them. And that's unfortunate. But to me, like you said, when I hop on these other pods with other people, and it's like, dude, I love to see people that I know on a personal level trying to do something big. Because the thing is, our town could come together and really support these people and help these people blow up. And I feel like that mindset needs to change, where people need to be like, you know, I'm done rooting against people that I know. Let's root for these people. These are my network, right? And it stands true. If you're gonna take, like, good people are gonna take care of their network. It's like, let's make our local guys blow up for what they're doing and their talents, and
they're trying, like,
and putting themselves out there. I think another part of that is, like, it takes a lot to put yourself out there on the internet nowadays, because people, there's like this clown mentality where it's like, oh, I'm gonna clown him whether he's doing good or not. And it's like, it's like, no, dude, why don't we like support that, and like, let's blow up our local talent and let them take care of themselves. So,
bro, thank you. And like, I know you were saying you want to start a pod here shortly, and like, I want to take everything I know and like help you out, you know, or like just give you my little tips. Or I think that's how like things grow. Like, if I give you tips, you'll figure something out. Give me tips, and like, just like constantly help each other, you know? And like, that's what me and Derek were doing with like businesses and stuff. It's like, hey, you should try this. And then he tries it, helps, like, or like vice versa, you know?
Dude, and and you've already given me some tips here, which is super cool. And not to shout myself out, but I am working on a sports pod. And I know you know your football and stuff. I'm hoping to be up basically going into early season, right? So I'm hoping I really want to get a good setup and a good idea of how I want this to go. I'm thinking late summer, but I'm kind of going to go for the same idea. I want to bring guests on and kind of talk about what's going on, early preseason moves, draft moves, this kind of stuff. And just kind of be on a personal level with the people that are watching, and kind of interact with those people. And again, I'm doing it more for me, like you, like, if it blows up, that's badass, right? But I'm doing it more because I've got to a point in life where I feel like I want to have something else to build outside of my work. And I'm passionate about it, and I have an understanding for different things that I feel like I can talk about these things. So it's like, and if people want to join in and interact with that, it's super cool too.
Dude, I'll be liking your video, sharing, like you're saying, like, support people that you know, like Caden Baker. He has his
Yes, sir.
podcast,
Shout
the
out
Triple Option.
Caden Bakes.
Yeah. And like he started posting, and like that kind of got me into like, you know what? Like he could do it, I could do it. I started liking his content. Like I'm subbed up, you know? And like I don't know, just like seeing someone pursue something and go like, you know what? Like I could do that too, you know? And like I think that's huge. And I don't know, like shout out to him. He's what kind of like not forced me to do it, but like gave me the confidence to do it, you know? So I think that's cool as
I
hell.
mean, and going back to stuff you've talked about in your previous video, man, what did it cost you to subscribe and like his content, right?
Yeah, nothing. Like it
Zero.
takes, even if you don't watch the videos, you can like, comment, like
You don't got to watch the whole video. It's like with your clips, it's like, dude, that's a 15-second clip. Like if my clip resonates with you, give me a like, give me a comment. Like just, I mean, give me ideas. Like for you, it's like, what do you guys want to hear? You know, you guys have all subscribed here. What do you want me to touch on here? Because I'm willing to kind of put myself out there and interact with my audience. And that's super cool that you shout out Bakes. Bakes was the first, dude, he's actually been one of my, you and Baker were my biggest motivation for kind of building out my studio and building out this sports pod and starting to get stuff ordered in. Is I seen Bakes doing it and he's like, this is kind of funny. Prize Picks, don't gamble what you can't afford to. But
for real.
I got on a mad heater on Prize Picks. I did like 3,500 in like 3 or 4 days,
bro.
And Bakes is like, dude, I need to get you on. He's like, you're hitting and the funny part is, dude, I haven't been gambling as much lately because I've been focusing more on ordering in memorabilia and stuff for my background. But we hit. We were tallying them, and maybe Bakes can comment the correct answer. We probably hit 14 5 out of 6s that were 1,000 plus or more getting paid. We just could not hit final legs, and it was kind of funny. I came off that heater, and we just kept going for it, and we just kept hitting 2x, and we were getting pretty sharp with it. But Baker's like, dude, I want to have you on the pod, and I was like, dude, I'm not much of a speaker in that way, but let me try it, you know, and just getting on there, just like with you, dude. It's like you just trying to have fun with it. Like, dude, just be a normal dude. You're gonna relate to people a lot more by being yourself. And people, if you're your authentic self, people be like, oh, that's cool. Like that's just a everyday dude that's like just talking about, you know, what he's doing. So them doing his thing, and then I started seeing your thing. I seen your first episode come out, and I was like, dude, that's super cool. Like, I like that the New Dad podcast has a ring to it. It's cool that he's originally my first thought, he's doing something. He's putting stuff out there. And then I seen the biggest, like my favorite episode was, and this is probably because I relate really well to you and Derek, but both of your episodes with Derek were great. But when you brought Derek on the first time and just seeing you guys just be genuine, authentic selves, and then I'm seeing you like, dude, when you started, like my goal is 1,000 subs this year, which is like, that's cool. And then he's like, I'm at 1.5. We're a month and a week into the year.
Yeah.
And it's
kind of crazy.
Right. And you're talking in your last video, like with where you want to go with this. And it was like, you know, you got to readjust your goals and kind of recreate your content. It's like, hey, I liked what I'm doing. Now I'm going to try a vlog style and try to throw some more other stuff out there that maybe you guys will like, because you're obviously resonating with what I'm saying. Like maybe let me throw you a gym clip. Let me throw you like a vlog of doing something with my kid, whatever it is. And that's super cool, dude. It's just seeing, like, watching you grow and like just people putting themselves out there in a way, just like, dude, that's so much motivation to be like, dude, we live in the day and age, there is unlimited ways to make a living, to make money. And it's like, if you could do something you're absolutely passionate about, why would you hold yourself back from trying, right? It's like, that's your passion, dude. Who cares if you get 5 likes? I'm passionate about it. I'm gonna do this, right?
And like, you'll get some videos that are flops, and like, you'll be sitting there and you're like, fuck, do I still want to do this? Like, you get that mentality like, oh man, like it's not resonating, whatever. But it's like, you just got to remember, like I told you, like you're just doing this for yourself. Like you're still just going to put yourself out there, and it's hard to post and everything. But like, I kind of related it to the gym, because I love going to the gym. And if you go to the gym, you're not going to lift, you know, bench 320 pounds the first day. Yeah. It's like, you have to build up to that year after year after year, week after week. So it's like, I'd come home frustrated. like seeing a video didn't do good, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna put in that work. I research, put in that time, like watching videos on like what to do to your thumbnail, how to like get people to keep watching and stuff, and then you apply it, and it's just like week after week after week, you just kind of got to get like 1% better, and that's the biggest thing you could take into it.
Dude, I love that mindset. Comparing it to the gym too, because I mean, the gym's a grind, right? I need to do better in the gym, and I've been on Derek's ass a little bit, like, dude, I need to get it for myself too. But if I get that extra, like a dude who's counting on me to be there, because I get so caught up in what I'm doing day to day, and it's like I'm not hitting the gym like I should. But the gym's a grind, dude. And starting something that you're passionate about is a grind. Like whether you're Mr. Beast, whoever, dude, you start from zero. And it's so funny. I love that Mr. Beast posts videos that he set like 10 years ago, whatever. And then you watch like what he was. Dude, he was just filming himself off his laptop. It was like, look what he is, dude. He gives away, I mean, his philanthropy is probably unmatched. Unless you guys know somebody who does more than that. But I mean, he's giving away millions and millions of dollars every I mean, constantly, really. I mean, a year. It's like just for clips, and from my understanding, it's to random people that try and put in that are subscribers, and it's like, I mean, that's super cool too. And he started same thing
from
he
nothing.
had to grind from 0 followers up, right?
And I watched a clip with him, and he's like, I'd save up 6 months at a time, buy a better laptop, save up another 6 months, buy a camera, save up 6 months. And it's like you're saying, it's a grind. And like, you constantly just have to be like, I'm trying to get better. I'm going to get that better laptop so I could edit better. I'm going to get that better camera. And it's not all about equipment. Sometimes it's just about starting, you know, but like once you're in it, like I started with kind of shitty mics at first. It's like, okay, I'm in it. This is what I want to do. Now it's time to invest a little bit into what you're doing.
Upgrade your mics a little bit. Yeah. And then, dude, and as like people, I genuinely believe in this show, and I believe in you as a person. So I think as like you continue to grow, you'll continue to upgrade your show and your channel. Because like I said, I mean, really getting to where the start's the hardest part. Once you start getting people that resonate with what you're saying and like the following you're building, more people come that resonate with you, and then you get people that are like a regular, right? Yeah. It's like I'm watching every episode that comes out. Like this dude, I resonate with this dude. He's a genuine dude. He talks about real life stuff. And you know, and I think and I know you're kind of building as you go, because that's how you need to do it. But like adding in that other stuff is cool, man, because that's just being like your authentic self. This is what I'm doing, right? Yeah. This is, you know, a lot of people too, like I know you're talking about posting gym stuff. A lot of people, I mean, even myself sometimes is like, you go to the gym, is like, dude, I don't necessarily, maybe I don't know, like maybe I need a new workout that pushes myself in a different way, or something I didn't know, right? And it's like, and that kind of stuff also helps bring in and people resonate with that, because like I'm trying to be in that same light, right? Yeah,
and that stuff's huge. Like I'll probably be posting a gym video this week. I'm gonna try and do like a 2 video week, and like you'll learn that like once you get in it, just be consistent with one video. Once you get comfortable with that, push yourself and put out something else. Kind of like readjusting your goals, readjusting what you're gonna do moving forward. But like you said with the gym, like I like to go work out with people that don't lift as much as me or something, because they might know a workout that I don't know, and it's hitting a whole different muscle group, you know, or just talking to people that, I don't know, like if you know me outside of this, like I'm the same person. Like I'm not going to put on a shit like act in front of the, you know, for YouTube or whatever.
And dude, that does show. Like I think watching your show, like I said, we weren't necessarily best homies out. I knew who you were, but just seeing you in your videos is like, that's who you are.
It's like, it's the same person. Like, I feel like that's the biggest thing, is just being like genuine, like you're saying, just, you know, and being relatable. And I'll tell you all my failures and like shit you do as a parent, you know, like you fail as a parent and you're like, fuck. Or like you buy the wrong food, and I don't know. It's just stupid shit.
Dude, I think you fail not every day, you fail constantly and you succeed constantly. And that's literally I guess almost the beauty of it, right? Is you're constantly bettering, failing, bettering, failing, bettering.
Yep. And you learn from your failures just as much as your victories. And if not more, because you're like, okay, this is what I need to change up. This is why that video flopped, or this is why my son got pissed off at me because I did this, like,
Sure.
I don't know. You learn from your failures, and that's the biggest thing. If you don't try, then you won't fail. Then you'll never fail. But if you don't try something, you're never going to go anywhere.
No, you're just and that's the like I said, we in an unfortunate way, in some ways, we kind of have live in a hater age in a way. Like, not everyone's hated, but a lot of people are hated for trying stuff, and it's like, so what you're just gonna be average your whole life? Is like, no, bro. Like, I wanna do shit with my, like, I wanna try and better myself constantly, and like I'm willing to risk failure to succeed.
Yeah, like I'm willing to look like an idiot on the internet, or have that one flop, or have someone like be talking shit about a video, but I'm still doing something and they're not,
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, dude.
We're gonna change what's it called? Batteries real quick.
Yeah.
And we're back, sorry. Little bathroom break.
This
But
beer's going right through me.
what we're talking about, we just took a bathroom break, and one of our good friends, my cousin, one of your good friends, and he just hit his new PR in the gym. Hit up 275, so shout out to you, Derek.
Shout out D.
But so we just barely saw that as we were taking a break, and I don't know, you got to celebrate your friends' victories,
Oh, dude, I mean, and you both had that genuine moment where, like, I literally said, dude, I just seen Derek throw up his PR. And me was like, I just seen that.
And like, I don't know, it's fucking cool. So shout out to you. That's fucking awesome. But what you were saying is, like, Derek talks highly of that new gym. What's that called? Do you know what it's called?
Salt Flats.
Yeah, Salt Flats out here in Twilla. I've been once. It's pretty fucking cool. But like what you were saying, like if you work with your kid outside of the normal scheduled practices and like actually put in that extra time, like you could for sure tell.
Parents, as a coach and coaching these young kids, and you can attest to this, but so we were talking, Derek's been throwing routes to his son Emmett, and he's been catching these, 15-yard post routes, and he's running a crisper route, and just that, and just as a coach, you know what kids have been working with their parents at home. When they come into practice, you just like, oh, this kid's playing at home. This, like, they just that. Just seeing reps, right? Reps makes anyone better, but those kids seeing their reps, it's such a big difference. And you're like, okay, you kind of can tell what parents are at home, like, kind of playing with their kid and putting in that extra effort.
Yeah, and it's like, as a coach, you appreciate it so much more. Like, you're like, oh, thank God. Like, you don't have to teach like basics. But as a parent, even if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, like, play catch. Like, just getting those reps of catching the ball and learning to just handle the ball different, or like running reps, or just running at the track with your kid and like getting somewhat of a rep in.
Dude, yeah. I mean, dude, everyone can play catch, right? But with kids especially, like building that hand-eye coordination, like literally simple as playing catch, it makes such a difference. We had this kid who came in. He was probably 6 or 7. I don't remember his age, but we were coaching, and I mean, these are our young kids, and he tells me, let's play catch, coach, first practice. And these are like 6-year-olds. I'm used to throwing them like a little, little 5-yard.
Just a little like floater.
Yeah, dude, he starts running down the field. I didn't throw them the ball. I'm like, what is he doing? He's throwing his arms up to throw it. I'm like, oh, it's one of those kids, right? The ball's gonna hit the ground. He's gonna chase it. And as a coach, I'm like, I'd rather you be in range to catch the ball, so we're actually practicing. So I'm not you just chasing the ball. But I throw it out there because he's out there. This dude runs underneath this ball, catches it in stride. I'm like, six.
You're like, oh shit.
He'd been practicing with his dad and stuff, and it was like, gosh, damn, we're throwing streaks, dude. We had a kid who fortunately had a massive arm. We're throwing him like 20-yard passes in the games with these 6-year-olds, and no one's guarding him out there because no one's seen this, like, that kind of deep ball. So they're just leaving him at 10 yards. They just let him go. And we're just getting these Hail Marys, and me and Derek are like, dude, this is crazy. And it was just because his dad had just started throwing balls with him short, and he got that coordination now, and he's throwing them bombs and
spends time with them, and
it's crazy.
It unlocks a whole new game, So if the parents could work with their kids just a little bit, the team's going to be so much better. And like, I had a quarterback that his dad would work with them, and like, he didn't know as much about being a quarterback, but just putting in those reps, and he'd come up to me. hey coach, what can we work on this week? What's something we could work on?
Hungry.
I'd show him just like the simplest stuff. He's like, okay, we're going to work on it. He'd come back the next week. The kid's already mid form in it, like doing good. And it's like, okay, like hell yeah. Like
Hell yeah,
we've got some
dude.
shit going on then.
Well, dude, as a coach too, you're what's the right way to say this? Anyone can coach the basics, right? If you have a higher level of football IQ and whatnot as a coach, it's like not anyone can coach. Not everyone has the ability to coach, but for the most part, right? But if you have that higher level of IQ and you have a kid that knows the basics, it's like, dude, I can start teaching you like I'm gonna teach you like a head fake on a route break, right?
Yep.
Like I'm gonna get you where you're leaving your defender, and as soon as you break on your cut, your hands are up because that's what a real receiver is gonna do. And I can teach you that stuff now because you already knew the basics. You can run the route, you can catch the ball. Let me show you how to lose this defender now. Like I'm gonna show you that hip break, and you're coming back on an outbreaking ball. Your hands are up, and that ball's there. And it's like, yeah, I can start teaching you that stuff. I don't have to teach you and these are young kids that I've coached. It's like, but I don't have to teach you just to run a route. I can teach you how to lose your defender if your defender thinks he's going to stick on you. No, we're losing him.
How to actually like work on timing and like the simple fakes like you're saying, and like it's next level, but it's the simplest stuff.
Oh, yep.
Like I worked one-on-one with this kid that's trying to be a quarterback, and he played in that flag league. Him and his brother actually got kicked out of the league. His brother was a coach just because they were running on people. Yeah. But
that was crazy, honestly. We could talk about that in a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's like his brother and that kid's parents are putting in money, and I'm training him as a quarterback on the side, which most kids aren't doing at his age, you know? So I think that's fucking cool. And but he's got to the point where I was like, yeah, bring like one of your friends that's a wide receiver or running back, and we'd start working on timing routes, and like you could start to see that higher level develop. And it's like, in order to develop this quarterback, now his team needs to develop with him. And then they were getting that timing down, and simple little bubble screen, like a timing on the bubble screen, and seeing that. And then now it's almost to a point where it's like, okay, now the coach has to design plays around the quarterback's talents because he's hitting his timing. The wide receivers and running backs are hitting their timing. Now it's on the coach to create plays that work with that timing.
Put it all together, right? Dude. And then you sold yourself short earlier. Which is good, a humble guy, but Emilio was a great quarterback growing up. So I mean, and was coached very well. His dad, I remember I was friends with Caleb, who lived in that same neighborhood as you, and I remember I hung out with him all the time, and I would always see you and your dad over at the park practicing and him coaching you up. But for you to coach that kid, the kid in mind is, I've seen some of his clips that his brother posts. We went to school with his brother, and he's a beast, dude. He's launching the ball and it's there. Like it's a lead route. So he's hitting his receivers in stride. And that's super cool. I didn't know you were coaching him, but dude, and touching on that point, him getting kicked out of that league for being undefeated for so many years, and them, in my opinion, I think they made a move to make the league less competitive. And as the way I coach, I mean, I that really rubbed me wrong, because it was like, this dude loved his team. His team loved him. He's a great coach. It's Dylan Mott. And he's undefeated for a lot of years. I mean, he posted every week how proud he was of his team. He's posting clips of his team. And to me, for him to get that ripped from him was like, what are we teaching these kids? Like, you don't want them to be competitive? Like, we're teaching them that it's a participation league. It's like, unfortunately, like, and that's great for a lot of kids and whatever. Not even a lot. I don't think it's great to teach kids that, but some kids may not be at that level. But if you're teaching kids that, maybe they do have that potential to go to the next level, and you're teaching them it's a participation league, like, you're holding that kid back from their potential.
You're holding the whole league back, honestly. Absolutely. Like, you're gonna have those kids that we call them like jersey wearers. Like, they're just there to wear their jersey. They're on the team. Still, that team camaraderie and being in that higher level team is so much better for him than just getting a little trophy for participating. And like, then the league's less competitive. They're learning less. And like, not to rip on that league, but it's kind of shitty how they're teaching stuff, so unfortunate, especially as like teaching speed and agility and like teaching the higher level of like football knowledge. Like, even their running, like their form, like they're making them
do weird shit,
that they're going to get their ass beat when they actually go to like a tackle, and they're going to get lit the fuck up by a Salt Lake kid.
Dude, me and Derek were talking about this. So it's so unfortunate. They're wanting them to hold the ball up like a chicken wing, and you're just teaching them bad mechanics for no reason. And the unfortunate part, like you said, is you're gonna put that kid in tackle football, and not only is he gonna have issues with holding on to the ball, like the mechanics are gonna get him hurt.
Yep.
Genuinely, if you're holding your ball like here, like a chicken wing, and somebody comes in and tackles you, and you come down on your break like this, you're separating your shoulder. You're doing weird shit. It's so unfortunate that they're teaching that. And me and Derek talked about that. I was like, dude, I don't understand why they'd teach them bad mechanics when they're that young. It's like
that's the most important age to teach them proper mechanics.
Weird.
And like they're making them hold the ball up, and then they're offhand. They're making them like grab their shoulder, so they're running like
running
two
hands up with the ball right here, and the offhand, or no, they're grabbing their jersey like this,
looking like a cholo going down the field. You know,
dude, I go all day on that, but
it's like they're gonna go play tackle football. Some big lineman from Hunter's gonna come off the line, like you said, hit them under. They're gonna get picked up, shoulder separated at the age of 7, when like it wouldn't even be a big hit if they're properly just running.
Just bad form and mechanics. I know that you and Derek have coached some speed and agility, and I remember your dad used to do.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah, okay. So, man, to me, it's like, and I told Derek at the same time. I mean, we kind of have to try our best to abide by the league, but to teach them bad mechanics is just kind of unfortunate. I want to try and teach it as close to proper mechanics as I can without the league penalizing us over and over and over. And but just I agree, dude. That's so unfortunate.
It's so shitty because that league's doing all the kids that participate in the league a disservice to their future, because you operate how you train. If you're training that way as a kid and learning that way, you're going to carry that into tackle football and beyond, and it's going to be harder to break. And like bad habits die hard, you know?
Dude, absolutely. Yeah,
like you like,
especially those kids are going into tackle soon. Like a lot like some parents use this as a developmental league, because you can start the kids at 5, I believe, and they can play 4 to 6 seasons of football before they reach the age to play tackle. And a lot of parents are like, hey, I'm going to develop you into some football skills, and if you want to play tackle, then you'll be ready. And so that part to me is unfortunate. I mean, I believe that it's nice that they have a league and have something for the kids to do, but I to some degree, I think especially those kids that are developing to play higher level football, is like, you don't want to teach them the wrong mechanics going into where they're going to start their first year of tackle and begin learning actual form and you know.
Yeah, because it's like almost better for you as a parent and for the kid to put them into camps that they could learn the proper form and stuff, and then just skip the league entirely, which I'd rather just have a league that lets them grow and have proper mechanics and stuff, and that'd be better. And like having a league is good, but man, it's like to a point, you know?
I agree,
so
dude.
That's my beef with the whole flag league.
Yeah, I was pretty upset about the Dylan Moss situation. Like I said, I feel like he got booted for being too good as a coach, going undefeated, and he just rubs me wrong. Just the way I like to coach. Dude, you can. These kids can have the time of their lives. I mean, think about your experience winning state, dude. You guys were coached very disciplined, to football, right? You were coached football at a young age. You guys have fun winning, kicking ass.
Fuck yeah,
exactly. And that's my exact mindset, dude. You can be the most competitive coach. And dude, Willie played football till the whistle blew at the end of the 4th quarter. You played football, dude. There's no letting up there. You're playing football.
Yeah.
And you guys had fun doing it, dude. And you won and you kicked ass, and everyone played disciplined, good football. And that football team, our age group, had a lot of really good football players, both through countywide, but just there was a lot of good football players that were coached up from a young age to play disciplined, real good football, and had fun doing it the whole time. Because
you could teach kids to have fun and everything, but like I think winning's a lot better.
A lot more fun, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to do, and I don't know. And then those losses teach them more than if you just go out and lose every week, you know? Like if you're good, disciplined football team, you're winning, and you lose, it's going to teach you a lot more than if you lose all season.
dude, this is unfortunate to talk about now. I mean, as you develop and grow as a player and understanding games. But I mean, I remember playing basketball in high school and we lost so much. I remember we were halftime of a game versus Bear River, and they were the best basketball team in the region at the time. And I remember we came into halftime, and those of you on the team will remember this, but one of our coaches said, "Why don't we just give up?" Like we were a losing team. I mean, we weren't a great team, and Stansbury at the time didn't really have a basketball program. It was all football, right? Stansbury had an amazing football program, no basketball. And I remember him telling us that, and Gamir French was the one who said, like, hell no, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he basically told the coach, like, fuck no, dude. We're going to rally and get out there. And I remember having that losing mentality where it's like, oh, just another loss. And it was like, and I think that's worse on you as a kid. And I remember him just saying that. I mean, we went out and won that second half. And we really played up to our full potential. And it's funny because you think about it, like we won a whole half against that team. Who knows the surrounding circumstances, but we all rallied around Amir. And I remember we made him the team captain after that game purely because like he's like, dude, the fuck are you talking about? We're going to give up. Like that's a loser ass mentality. And it's like losing sucks so much worse. Wow, you played games all practice. You had fun. No, dude. Then you go out and get your ass kicked and it's not fun. You lose.
No.
And you get a losing mentality, it's not fucking fun.
No.
It's like, dude, I would way rather be competitive and win and have good practices and win. That's going to be way more fun for the kids.
Yeah.
Way more fun for me as a coach to watch them out there succeeding. So,
and that's one thing I want to like teach my son. It's like, it's a 50 Cent quote. He's like, I don't want to lose based off of someone else's or based off of my own discretion. I'm mixing up his quote, but he's like, I don't want to lose. No, what was it? I don't want to lose because of someone else. I don't want someone else to beat me. I want to be able to lose because I beat myself.
Absolutely.
And like, it's all on me. So like, if you teach your kid to go out and have that winner mentality, whether it's sports or in life, give it your best. Like you guys won that second half. If you would have had a coach or if someone would have stepped up earlier, you guys win 3/4 of the game.
Dude, well, I mean,
win, you know,
when you and going into a game, and it's unfortunate to think this way. And I look back at some of the way I thought as a young athlete, because you're not developed, and it's all kind of based on the energy, I guess, around the team. But I remember going into that game thinking like, dude, we can't beat Bear River, we can't. And it's like, and you go into the game with that loser mentality because you've lost so many games. But then you go and you win a half, and you really rethink it. It's like, dude, what if we played this intensive defense the whole game? What if we moved the ball like we did the second half the whole game? We could go beat anybody.
Yeah.
And you ride that momentum. You see teams that like, dude, and this is like a random example, but what year was it? Eli Manning, this is so random, but Eli Manning and the Giants came in as the 6th seed. And the team had momentum. They kind of believed in what they were doing. And this is obviously a way different level. NFL, way different level. Everyone should believe in themselves, but they're riding that momentum, and they come up against the Patriots, who are undefeated on the year. I mean, that was maybe one of the best teams of all time, and they ride that momentum, and they get that Super Bowl win as the 6th seed. I correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe they're 9-7.
I think you're right. 9-7. I forgot what year that was. I feel like both years he won the Super Bowl, he was an underdog.
Yeah. Man, I just remember, like, and that's just an example. Like, if you have that right mentality and you're, you believe in what you're doing, this goes back to everything, not just sports. This is like work, like we talked about, family, everything. Like, dude, that the momentum and mentality can carry you. And that's just an example. Is like, what if we went into every game that year with that same mentality that when we were all fired up, like, you know what, we're proving coach wrong.
Yep.
And we went into every game like that. It was like, what could we have done different? Yeah. I just remember playing our asses off on defense. Everybody's passing the ball, moving the ball. In high school, for where we were at, didn't happen a lot. I know I was terrible at passing the ball because I didn't have the right mentality of what basketball was as a sport at the time. I was like, I can score, right? I'm going to try and score. But, you grow up, you're like, dude, basketball is more about defense and passing and ball movement than it is scoring, dude. You can go score 50 points and lose. Yeah. It was like, and that doesn't mean shit. I seen Carl Anthony Towns scored 50, or no, he scored 7, or what did he score? 70 in a loss.
I think it was, yeah.
And then, who was it? Scored 70 in a win.
Was that?
Oh God, who was it this year? Just barely happened.
I don't know who. I haven't followed this year.
But what means more to you, right? You score 70 in a loss. Who gives a fuck? You score 70 in a win.
I'd rather score 50 in a win.
Kobe. I'd rather Draymond Green. Draymond gets a lot of hate, and I don't necessarily love him as an athlete. I'd rather go out there and Draymond and have a 6, 10, 10, 2 steals and 2 blocks game, and we're winning rings, than be out there scoring 40 points a game and never make the playoffs. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a mentality of
Dennis Rodman, what do you get? Like 0-0, 2 points a game, 0, like, but he's playing his part and he's winning.
But his presence in the paint, dude. You didn't, you knew Rodman was there, and he was. You weren't getting shit easy in the paint.
Yeah, and you have that mentality, and like that's something I was taught at a young age. Like you're gonna go out here and win. Like it's yours to lose. Like you're supposed to win. And like I hate when people are like, oh, I hate that player in the NFL. Like he seems cocky. He's cocky. It's like if I was an NFL player, I'd be cocky too. Because that mentality's took them to where they're at.
Absolutely, dude.
And like, you don't need to be cocky in life, but like, you need to be like sure of yourself, in a way. And that's something I tried to keep with me. And whenever I talk to new people, they're like, oh yeah, I thought you were cocky. And then I got to know you and you're a cool dude.
Oh, I got that a lot. And I was probably, I genuinely was more of a douchebag back in the day. But like a lot of people like, dude, I thought you were a fuckboy. It's like, you're actually a pretty genuine dude.
Yeah, you're a genuine dude. Like, I had people, I thought you were just this cocky dude. Like, you think you win all the time. And I don't know. It's just like, yeah, like, I'm sure of myself that I'm going to win if
confident. I think confidence. Yep.
Confidence. It's like, you got to be confident. And I want to instill that into my son and my future kids and the kids I coach even, just to be confident in whatever they do.
Everything.
Yeah. So I think that's key, and that'll carry you. Just like NBA players are confident, football players, rappers, like they're just confident in what they do, and they don't let the outside world penetrate that confidence.
Dude, I think too, what you touched upon, a majority of people will hate greatness. And dude, I'm right there. Like, dude, am I sick of seeing Patrick Mahomes win everything? Yeah. Can I appreciate how great he is? Absolutely. And I remember as a kid, I'm a big Colts fan. So it was always Brady Manning. And
Brady. And
I hated Tom Brady. That motherfucker put us out every year. And then I remember he went to the Bucks and was still doing great. And I remember thinking like, dude, and it's honestly same thing with LeBron for me. And everyone has their different stance. But you're watching an all-time great athlete at the end of his career. And it's not going to last forever. The years go by so fast. And you're just... you just learn to appreciate greatness. Like this dude mastered his craft. Do you know how many hours, how much film, how much work in the gym this dude's putting in on the side to be that great? He's not just great just because God made him that way. No, he has some talents, and then he puts in the work to make sure he's making the best of those talents. And that's the type of dude that becomes great. Yeah.
It's like, it's easy to hate on, but Brady, LeBron, they're spending over $100,000 on their diet and their bodies and fitness. It's like, yeah, they're putting in that work. They're putting in the money. They're investing in themselves, It's like, how can you hate on that? Like whenever I was a Bucks fan, but I always like appreciated Brady for what he was, because that's the position I played. So it's like whenever I run into someone, they're like, I fucking hate Brady. It's like, do you not see like what he's done for the sport and like evolved the sport into what it is?
100%, dude. And going back to, like I said, I like to support local, and I know you guys have touched on these guys, but Sua Opeta and Zane Anderson, dude. I didn't know Sua. Sua was a super quiet kid. I was in high school the same time as him, but Zane, I knew Zane, and dude, Zane went at everything with the energy and the passion, and he wanted to be great, dude. I remember he played basketball, and he wasn't obviously. I mean, he was a he's an athlete, so he's a good basketball player. He wasn't the same as he was at football, but he attacked basketball with the same passion, and it was like he made himself great. He wanted to be great, and he put in the work to be great. And for where he's like, from our area, I don't know the full history. I think those are probably the only two that have made the NFL recently or with any time. And whether that's Brady level or Zane level, you're still putting in way more work to be great than the people around you and trying to reach your goals. Everyone, all of us, dude, I'm gonna be an NBA player. I'm gonna be an NFL player. But and I can't speak for everyone, but I would always say that. And I spent, plenty of hours in the gym and doing. I played more basketball than anything, but did I put in the level of effort it takes to be great? Hell no, bro.
Nope.
Hell no. I went in the gym, dicked around, put up an hour worth of shots, whatever a day. Dude, I wasn't obsessed like these dudes are that want to be great. They're doing not an hour straight. They're doing 100 perfect reps. If they mess up, I'm restarting at 0 and I'm doing 100 perfect reps again. And that's what it takes to be great, dude.
Dude, and like I was putting in extra work and everything, and I think that's what made me the player I was, but I definitely wasn't obsessed and putting in that extra, and I wasn't doing track and field to make me faster. And I know that was a big thing Zane did, is like he did track and field, and that's what made him so quick, and like all the extra work, and like it's funny because like I grew up with Zane because he was right around my neighborhood.
Literally behind you.
And so like I always liked Zane, like he was always cool. But then when I went to Tooele, people would be like talking shit or like, oh, he does this, and it's like, how can you hate on him, bro? Like just because he's better.
Dude, and that's what I said. I mean, and it's probably everywhere because and it's funny you touched on this again. I've watched your videos, but getting out of your hometown's your biggest haters. Is like crosstown rivals. Like, yeah, dude, you're gonna hate on him because he's great. He's good. You don't want to like. You wish you were doing that and being that. And it's the same way, dude. Another athlete, JP, I mean, he went and played college ball. And I remember everyone hated JP in basketball. He's a flopper. He's this and that. And JP is a good hooper, dude. And I mean, I'm not to dick ride too much, but I mean, JP is the best hooper I've played against. That dude, he's done a lot to his game to kind of perfect that. In a way, you can't block his jumper because he floats and releases at a point where, and I'm fairly athletic, dude. I can get up over the rim to block shots, and he can put them over me. Yeah. But it's that same idea. Like Stansbury hated JP, Tooele hates Zane. It's like because those dudes put in a lot more work than what these what your average guy's putting in to be good.
Yeah, and like when you play against them, like when I was playing at Tooele, I was on the kickoff team, and Zane returned it. I went to tackle him, and he like ran right through my ass. Like where I'd normally make the tackle, he'd run right through, and it's like I could see why that dude's in the NFL. Like
yeah,
he's putting in that fucking work,
Yeah, dude, that's super cool. I think the older I get, the more you're gonna be bothered seeing the same players. It's when LeBron and Curry went to Howard 7 straight finals. I don't know the exact number, but people get sick of it. But it's like, on the opposite side, you're watching great athletes that are putting the work to be there and do it.
You see the difference.
So
and like that goes to every level. You see the difference. Like we were talking earlier at the job. If you put in that extra little bit to understand or read, you could see that. If you put in that extra little work with your kid, that kid's gonna talk to you about his life more and be more present, and you're gonna be more present, and that's gonna help him in athletics, school, beyond, like just as who he is.
Yeah, and I think we've done a lot on sports, but yeah, I think all this applies back to family life. Family is number one for me right now, and like he said, I'm having my second baby's coming up here in 6 to 8 weeks, and I'll be a dad of 2, and family always comes first for me. And all this stuff that we talk about, being greatness, dude, it doesn't have to be sports. You can be great at anything you do.
Yeah,
like I pride myself on trying to be the best dad and the best partner to my wife that I can be.
Yep.
Because I feel like I want to be great in all work. I want to be a great asset to work. I want to be even greater to my family and mean more to my family. I want my son to look at me as like that role model. I want my son to be like, dude, that my dad went out and handled his shit. And it's like, and that's kind of the dad I want to be in. Yep. I think we're in the same
boat, dude. And like I've touched on that. It's like I want my son to look at me and be like, that's someone I want to be like, But then I also want to instill him, like, I don't want him to be known as like, oh, he's my son or something. I want him to be known as his own person, and like look at himself maybe 10 years in advance in what he wants to be, because he might not even want to play sports. Maybe he's a chess player or something, and like look at what he wants to be and pursue that goal and be like, I see dad putting in this energy still towards this. I'm going to take that energy and put it into what I want to do.
Dude, I'm glad you touched on that, because I remember thinking when I was having my son, I remember thinking the whole time when my wife was pregnant, dude, he's going to be, because I feel like in my sports, I didn't have the the push, I guess, and the coaching to be. But I was a fairly athletic kid, but I was always told to like, it's okay to do this. It's okay to be a B team guy. It's okay to, and I didn't have that push to like really maximize like my athletics. I didn't go to camps to maximize that stuff. But I feel like I always was like, my kid's gonna be everything I wasn't. And then now my kid's coming up. It's like, dude, if my kid wants to be the goddamn chess champion of his school, that's my son. My kid wants to be the best choir kid, whatever. That's my son. It's like, I don't give a shit. Obviously, I love sports, and I think because I share that, I have that passion. My son's kind of picked up on that. But whether that what he becomes or not, is like, dude, I'm gonna whatever he wants to be. All I care, I'm pushing you to be the best at it. If you're an academic dude, if you're just smart as hell, you want to be one of the best mathletes in your class, dude, I'm gonna push you to do that. You know, it's like I'm not gonna push you any way that you don't want to go, but I'm going to push you to be the best you.
Yeah. And like, that's something I see and I want to do. And like, as a dad, I think you need that energy to be like, I am going to take what I know in football and that passion and apply it. So like, if my kid wants to ride motocross, I'm going to take that passion. I'm going to learn everything I can about motocross. And then I'm going to help him pursue his goals and his dreams. And damn it, I'm going to buy him that best gear that he needs to move him up, you know?
Put him in the camps, the training, whatever it is that you're into. Let's perfect that.
Yeah.
I seen this quote, and me and my wife had to talk about this. It said, if your son's a B level in math, but an A level in tennis, or that's probably a bad example. Say whatever, C level math. Are you gonna get a math tutor to help him out, or would you and you can do both, but or he excels in tennis. He's insane at tennis. Are you gonna give him a tennis trainer
and make him
to excel what he's already great at? And then that goes back to like, I want to make you excel in what you're already talented in, and obviously be well rounded in everything else. But it's like, if you have a special talent for something, I'm gonna get you a tutor or a trainer for that. I'm not gonna worry about what you're bad at. We'll work on what you're bad at, but we're gonna focus on what you're great at, and we're gonna make you greater.
Dude, I love that, actually. Like, that's freaking awesome. Like, I've thought of that, but like not put it into words and like a quote like that, you know? Because like, I've always been like, okay, if I'm bad at this, I'm just gonna get by at that level. Like, if I'm bad at English, then I'm just gonna get a passing. As long as I'm passing, as long as my kid's passing, that's fair. But like you're saying, if he's great at tennis, goddamn it, I'm gonna buy him a fucking tennis coach, and that's cool. Dude, that's an awesome look at it.
Whatever he's great at, right? I mean, that humans are so diverse. And it's like, you could be talented. Like, dude, you could have the most random talent. You could be a singer, dude. I mean, well, for God's sake, whatever. Like, let's focus. Like, we'll take care of everything. Let's focus on what you're great at. We'll focus on that more. I'm not gonna emphasize your whole childhood what you're bad at. You're bad at this. I'm gonna harp on you your whole childhood that you're bad at this. No, dude, we'll figure that out. We're gonna harp on what you're great at. Let's make you even better.
And like, even you, like, you're creating a podcast and a show about sports because that's what you're passionate about and that's what you like to do. So you're gonna focus on sports. You're not gonna focus on fashion, you know?
Right.
So like, you putting then that work towards your sports and what you're passionate about, I think your kid's going to look at that and say, okay, he's putting it towards his passion. I'm going to like kind of take that energy and like as an example.
Dude, and build the example for your kid, whether they're into the same things as you. I don't think all kids will be. And I think a lot of kids are into different. I was very different from my father, and I was adopted, and I don't know how that plays a role, but I was very different from my dad growing up. And we became more closer as we get older, because I started to realize, dude, he was just a genuine man, dude. He handled his shit, fixed all his own shit. But as a kid, I was way into sports, and my dad was like, dude, why don't you focus on figuring out how to work on a car, figure out how to do maintenance, how to build a barn. I mean, he built his own house, his own barn, all his shit, right? And I feel like you just, as a dad, it's like, I'm going to push you to be great at what you're great at too. And I'm going to set the example by pushing myself to be good at what I'm good at, and pushing myself to do everything that I do at the highest level I can do it. And I want you to do the same, dude. No matter what you do, go at it with the dog mentality. That's how I go back to that. It's like, dude, be hungry, man. Like, you want
be that guy.
You want that? go get it, dude. Like that, no one's stopping you but you from being as hungry as you want for anything.
Yeah, and it's all mentality. It's like goes back to like if you want a car, you're not gonna say like, oh, I can't afford that. Because if you say, oh, I can't afford that, you're never gonna fucking afford it.
Nope.
But if you go, how can I afford that? What can I do differently in my life to afford that car?
Yes, sir.
Like, what can I do differently to get that A in my math? What can I do differently to go to nationals? And then the next year, once I'm at nationals, win nationals and win that gold, or, you know, like.
What are you doing to apply yourself to your fullest degree of everything you have in you? Be a dog.
Yeah. So that's mentality, being a dog. Like, and like you're having a little girl coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
And like, you might not know anything about girls and whatever.
Yes, sir.
But if they like softball, I know you're going to figure out everything you can for softball.
Dude, I'll tell you
bats
what.
And balls. And
I'll figure out whatever the hell I need to learn to coach my daughter to play softball, to coach my daughter to play whatever, the same I would for my son, because maybe I don't know softball. I was never really a baseball player, but it was like a lot of this stuff, like I said, dude, whether I'm an assistant coach or whatnot, it's like, dude, you can do the research and put in the time to learn how to teach them the mechanics, right?
Yeah.
It was like, I don't maybe have the softball IQ like I do football, but I'm going to teach you the mechanics, and maybe there'll be a better coach that can teach you, like a coach that's played softball at a high level, that she can teach you or he can teach you the rest, right? But I'm going to, as you're coming up, the same as I do with my son now, you know, my son likes to play catch, likes to shoot hoops. I'm going to teach you, we're going to throw you on a tee and let you hit, or we're going to, you know.
And you're going to like me, it's like, okay, I'm going to go work that overtime so I could afford this coach. I'm going to do what I got to do to put you in a position to do what you got to do.
Yes, sir.
You know? So I think that's cool as hell.
That is huge, dude. And like you said, dude, I mean, you you've already experienced this, I guarantee it. But as a parent, you realize how much you are going to sacrifice for your kids. Random example. I mean, my son gets sick and it's like, dude, I'm going to sacrifice a whole night of sleep. I'm going to take care of everything. I'm going to clean up whatever it is, you know, or you never know what's coming out. And I'm going to go to work. Same as I told you earlier, I'm going to go to work and bring that energy to work and be the same guy I am at work. Yeah. And it's like, you're going to sacrifice so much for your kids. You're going to sacrifice a little bit of overtime so that you can afford things. You're going to sacrifice sleep is a huge one. You're going to sacrifice doing things you want to do sometimes to spend time with your kids. But at the same time, it's going to be the most rewarding part of life for in my opinion, for anyone, is watching your kids develop, and you make those sacrifices and they'll never know about it. I mean, they will when they get older. I think back now that I'm older, because my parents did a lot because I was adopted. So they sacrificed a lot to bring me and my siblings. They brought a bunch of kids into their house. And as a kid, you don't think anything of it. And as a parent, your kid's probably not going to think anything of your sacrifices because they don't understand the world yet. Yeah. But when you get older and you start figuring out the world, you're like, dude, my parents did, you know, they sacrificed a lot in their life to be able to let me do things. And I want to be that same way as a parent. And
that's the goal, is for your kids not to know your financial struggles, your sacrifices, everything. And to bring that same energy, like you said, like you might go to work tired, but you're going to bring that same energy. You might come home tired from work, but you're going to still be in that happy mood and play with your kid and put in that energy. And I'm like, that's huge. Like just being that same person, them not knowing the struggles and getting older and going, oh shit, like now I see it.
Yeah, dude. And that's like, I'm sure like you've had moments before where you look at like, and I don't know your dad on much more of a level than coaching, but you look back at your dad and as a coach, you like realize how much time of your personal time is like, I'm going to these practices and games. I'm spending hours every week doing this and more even with your kid, because you're doing more than just a traditional practice. It's like, dude, that's just and working a full-time job and supporting my family and being a good husband. It's like, then you're like, as an adult, you're like, dude, I mean, that's sacrifice, right?
Yeah, for real.
And it takes both parents to take a huge sacrifice. Yep. My wife has never been, she's a go-getter, right? And we kind of got blessed and fortunate to where I got this job to where she's able to stay at home, and and that's a huge sacrifice for her. She's a go-getter. She's always worked, but now she's gonna stay at home and try and get our kids raised up through these young ages to where they're a little bit more independent, and sacrifice her being able to go out and work and grind, and then start her career up in a couple of years, or start something she wants to do more.
Yeah.
But she's sacrificing the time to raise the kids, and that takes both parents to make that.
That's huge, because it's like I'm going to sacrifice myself to go provide, but my wife's also going to sacrifice herself not to go work and kind of have to reinvent herself and,
Yes, sir.
you know, make sure our little humans live, you know,
Yes,
and
sir.
survive the next year. So it's like just as big of like, I'm going to work all day. Like, you don't need to have the mentality like, I'm going to work all day, so when I come home, I need dinner on the table, this and that. It's like, no, they're reinventing themselves at the same time. They're taking care of shit that there's no way I could take care of all day. So it's like, you still got to be that team. You still got to come home and be like, you know what? Let me help you. Let's make dinner together.
Absolutely, dude.
You know what? Let's go get dinner. Like, I work that overtime shift. Let's go get something.
Did you come home from work? You read, okay, there's a long day. I'm gonna take over from here.
Yep.
And dude, to be honest, I'd rather have a shit workout week. A switch gear goes down and we're troubleshooting all week trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Type deal, and then to be to stay at home with 2 kids full time. That's a damn job, dude.
Yeah, that takes a different kind of person, and I applaud my wife and any wives out there that could do that, or
100.
Any women that it might not be their kid, maybe their stepmom or something, but like any women that could do that, like, you know, like congrats to you. Or if you're a stay-at-home dad doing that, like, fuck, that's cool. Like
100%, dude.
But we kind of gotta end real quick. We're gonna go celebrate my wife's birthday, and like
today?
It was this week, but we haven't had time during the week because I work night shift. So, like I said, you got to take care of family. You know, go celebrate the ones that take care of us. So, thanks for coming on the pod,
dude, this
bro.
is badass.
I really appreciate it.
To watch this thing grow. So,
do you have what's it called? Do you have the name of your pod coming out, or do you have an idea?
So I have 2 names that we're I'm working to get a logo created for. One of them is Ready Break, and another one is Going for 2.
Oh shit, I like Going for 2. That sounds fucking catchy.
Going for 2 was my first one because kind of bringing in a second guy every time for podcasts and stuff. I really like that. So right now I'm actually like I pretty much have it all built out, and I'm really just trying to get everything set up to a level and to where I want to go. And I think I should be able, my baby's going to be born. So I'm thinking maybe a month after that, once things settle down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's because I want to be consistent. Like you said, it's key. But
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, once you get it up and going, we'll have you back on.
I'll have you on too.
Dude, I'd love to come on. So, I'll be posting your shit. So if you're out there waiting for it, I'll be posting them up. Be ready for his YouTube. And what platforms are you going to be on?
I'm basically gonna start YouTube, and I'm thinking Spotify just for podcast level, and then I guess expanding and learning from there as I go. I think the first thing I know of StreamYard, which is kind of what I've been introduced from Baker. I like the idea of YouTube because I think I still think YouTube is a platform to be on as far as growth and views. So.
It rewards your growth, and like if you're consistent, the algorithm will see it and push your shit.
Take care of you. Yeah, I agree with that. So, but dude, honestly, a huge shout out to Emilio. I know you guys are already following, and I hope this ends up being the biggest episode, and a lot of you guys start following. I mean, this is a genuine dude, and he's gonna work at his craft. And if you want to follow this journey, like, dude, give this guy a like and a subscribe, and it takes none of your time to drop a like, and just support local, guys. Like, I know we have this mentality out here where it's like you don't want somebody to one-up you or whatever, but it's like, dude, support local. Like, your network's going to take care of you in the end, and who you are as a person is going to always come back around.
But on that note, I can't top that, so thank you very much. I appreciate you coming, and we'll be back next week. Thank you.